In this video, we are going to show you how to combine GA4 data with the information you find in Google Search Console. This can be useful, for instance, if you want to combine the query information with data of your events and conversions that are recorded in GA4. First, we are going to talk about the why. The simple reason why you need to do this is because the search query information is not included within the API. So you need to do some SQL within the BigQuery interface in order to have or to prepare the information. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So we are going to jump ahead and start by querying the GA4 data and preparing the necessary field, which we'll use later on to join with the Google Search Console data. Let's start by getting the event date. We need to format it properly so that it can be mixed with the data from Google Search Console, which have proper date format, which is not the case for GA4. Next, we are going to extract the session source and medium, which are nested values. The next thing we need to do is to set up some new fields which are not available by default in the event table, like the unique session ID and the landing page. So let's start by defining both of these fields. The next step is to define a dynamic date range, which in our case will be 1 month for no specific reason. So let's go ahead and define the date range. We are almost done. The last step is to aggregate the data. For one session, we can have multiple sources in multiple mediums. We need to aggregate the data by adding the max function. After preparing the GA4 query, we need to just use the previous query to get the data we want. So I'm going to select the date, landing page, count the number of unique sessions. And are going to group by the date and the landing page because we use the count, which aggregates the data. Now, after preparing the final query for GA4, we are going to save this in a command table. Now we prepared our GA4 data. The last step is to combine this information with Google Search Console. But first we need to, of course, query our Google Search Console data. We are going to select everything from the Google Search Console table, and we have all our information here. So all we need to do is to get this information and use it to query the table. So we are going to start by getting the data date, which is the date field. Next, we are going to get the country. We are going to get the query as well. URL. And then we have other metrics, for example, the impressions in the click and the position, which we are going to get as well. Clicks. The last field we are going to get is the query type, or we are going to create. So as you can see in my initial data, my initial table, we do not have the query type, whether it's branded or non-branded, but that's okay. We can do this easily using SQL query. Now we prepared our query. As you can see, we have no problem. We will just need to save it as a common table. Let's call it Google Search Console data. All that is left now is to combine the data with a GA4. But first we need to do some aggregation for this data here. The last thing we need to do is to combine the Google Search Console and GA4 data. So we prepared the join before selecting the fields, and basically here what we did is we choose the date and the landing page as the keys because both columns exist in the GA4 and Google Search Console data sources. So we choose them as the keys for our query. Now it's time to select the fields from GA4. When we run the query, we will get the combined GA4 and Google Search Console data. There are fields where there are no queries because it's anonymized, which is quite normal. But overall, we have a working table for both data sources. So that's how you create the query, and I will leave a link for the full article in the breakdown in the comments. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like if you like the content. I will see you next time.